I think I might have pulled a muscle in my shoulder, which, well, for obvious reasons, would not be particularly ideal. I don't know if I pulled something or I've strained it, but it felt okay after the gym yesterday. But I've woken up this morning and I mean, I guess I could have just slept on it funny. It just kind of feels on my side delt like I've got this short, sharp shooting pain, which is not particularly comfortable, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about it. It's quite annoying because it always seems whenever I try and like push my shoulders really hard in the gym, particularly doing like side cable lateral raises, side delt isolation work, it just goes my left shoulder. And it's so fucking annoying because size wise my left shoulder is so much bigger than my right, but it's significantly weaker in terms of strength. So like my pressing power is really good on my left side. My right side's no, it's the other way around. My right side pressing power is really good, but my left side is lacking. But I don't really understand how my left can be bigger when it keeps getting injured. I say keeps. I haven't had this injury come up for like a year or so. It first came up when I first started lifting, like a couple years ago. And well, I hadn't lifted before, so I sort of just pushed through the pain of it, because I was like, oh yeah, well, I must be growing if it hurts, which obviously was stupid. And I don't know whether like in my childhood or whatever, if I'd injured it. There's nothing in like my in my memory of it going or hurting. I don't think I've ever dislocated it or anything. Actually, I think I might have. I vaguely remember a story of, I think my nan dropped me or something, or my nan was looking after me. It was something to do with my nan. I wonder if that was my left shoulder. That is so weird. I literally just remembered that as I was saying I don't think I've ever injured it. How funny. I might ask my mum and see if she recalls, or I might even ask my nan herself if she remembers if it was my left or right. But anyway, like when I look at pictures of myself and stuff, because I mean, I don't think I've ever actually spoken about this in my talks. My goal is in 2028, at the earliest, I want to step on stage and do a bodybuilding show. Just as like it's a goal, it's something to work towards. And that keeps me going to the gym every single day, because I want to be able to step up on stage and show off my physique I've spent 4 years building, and know that I left no stone unturned and I gave it my all. Because if I go on that stage, and even if I don't win, I know that I've given it absolutely everything I possibly could. I kept to my diet, I lifted heavy. I trained as smart as I possibly could. What are you doing? Why are they beeping at me? They're about to get a middle finger if they beep at me again. Interesting. Not sure about that one. Bloody hell, they drove a bit close. I can almost guarantee that was them that beeped. Completely lost my train of thought. Holy fuck, it's all raining. Or it's not raining, but all the drains are overflowing. Holy fuck, it's busy today. Sorry, I've gone on a complete tangent. I was talking about my shoulder and then I started talking about my goals. I think essentially I want to step up on stage and know that there was absolutely nothing more I could have done to get to where I was, whether that be I come first or even last. Obviously I'd be very disappointed if I came last, and after putting 4 years of hard fucking work down in the gym and with my diet, to come last would be a bit of a shame. But you know, as I say, as long as I'm being consistent and, you know, doing everything I possibly can, I'm content with coming last if I've ticked all my boxes. But anyway, that's besides the point. Obviously you can't really see, well I guess I can actually, if I do like a side chest shot with my right shoulder facing forward, my left one behind, my right shoulder, my side delt, like it wraps right round my shoulder, as I believe it should, and joins right up to my rear delt. So I have this like nice rounded look on my shoulder, and it just makes the muscle look so much more full and so much bigger when I do a side chest shot. However, or on the contrary, my left shoulder, it sticks out further, so the actual width of it is thicker, I guess, but it doesn't wrap around my shoulder, around my arm, as much as my right side does. So I'm left with this like teardrop shape on my left shoulder's side delt, and it doesn't quite reach my rear delt. So my rear delt ends up looking bigger because it's poking out more, which I guess is kind of a bonus. But when I then do a back double bicep and you can like see where my shoulder side delts are like inserted, the insert, is that the right word? I think that's the right word. Like my right shoulder, the one that looks bigger from a side chest shot, it looks like it's holding on by a thread. It's really, obviously it's not, but it's got a really small insertion point on the bone. Well, I don't really know how it attaches to, I guess it attaches to the bone. It looks like one little strand is connecting it. Obviously it's not. Then on my left, the one that looks smaller and doesn't wrap round all the way around my shoulder, looks like it's connected by like a bunch of points. And I just think it's weird. So in a back double bicep, my left looks bigger and my right looks smaller, and It's the other way around when I do side chest shots. Really quite bizarre. But yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. I can't believe I'm doing an entire talk just on my left shoulder today, but fuck it. It's something that's been on my mind. Yeah, it's just every now and then my left shoulder just flares up, and then I have to like back off training it for a couple weeks. It doesn't affect my chest presses, and I don't really do any overhead pressing, which perhaps I should try and do to build my side delts, and maybe that will eliminate some injury. I don't know. I kind of feel like some side delt isolation work should be kinder on my joints and my delts than an overhead press, but maybe it's something I should explore. I'm not sure. Oh, that rhymed. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely going to ask my mum about which shoulder it was, because it'd be interesting if it was either one of my shoulders. If it was my right, that could explain why in a back double bicep it looks like it's connected loosely, not loosely, but not connected in as many places. But then if it's my left, it might explain why it looks like a teardrop and doesn't wrap around my shoulder properly, because perhaps it's, I don't know, not come off the bone, but I don't know, a slight little niggle in it. Who bloody knows? I don't even know if that's a thing that can happen, but I guess I'll ask some family and see if they remember. But then aside from that, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I guess the only other explanation is that it's just pure genetic, and I've just got two completely different shaped shoulders. From like head on, they look exactly the same. So if I do like a most muscular pose, they look more or less identical. As I say, my left it is ever so slightly thicker, so it does look a little wider on my left, but nothing as noticeable as I do in a side chest or a back double bicep shot. Yeah, I don't know if that's something I can get like treated, whether like some physio or I don't bloody know. Something I want to look into. But again, it kind of all feeds into my goal, and my goal is to step up on stage and look the best I possibly can. And the other thing I want to do is get gyno surgery before 2028 to get rid of my puffy old nipples, because I fucking hate them. And I think they'd take away some, like, because I got such bad gyno, which I got when I was like, I want to say I started noticing it when I was 12 or 13, and I had it for like, well, it was like flaring up for a good 2-3 years. I think it kind of started disappearing around 15 years old, I think. That's when like they stopped hurting, at least. But I had it pretty bad, so there's a lot of like tissue there that I want gone. So that's something. That's something I want removed, because yeah, like my lower pecs aren't as like round as they should be. Like if I pull my chest up a little bit and like move the gyno out of the way, I can I can see the roundness, and I think it just makes my chest look smaller than it actually is. I know it's quite an expensive surgery, and I feel like a bit of a bitch being a man and getting cosmetic surgery, but I actually just don't give a fuck. I couldn't give less of a shit because, you know, I want to look how I want to look, and I think that's okay. But yeah, anyway, my shoulder's a bit fucked. I've also noticed there's a little niggle in my bicep, but I don't know, maybe I'm just falling apart. We're like a month and a half into the bulk. I did some like comparison shots yesterday, and I am starting to look a little bigger, so we're making progress.